Normal is an illusion. What is normal for the spider is chaos for the fly. And that quote is associated with the Addams Family. And I tried to look for, like, a source of that because I keep seeing Morticia Addams as a credit for it or whatever, as like, oh, she said this, but then like in the movies and stuff, like I don't really remember her saying that anywhere. But then people were saying in the play she said it, so I was like, okay, I haven't seen any of the Addams Family plays yet. I should probably go do that, because, I guess maybe after this video I could try to find something, or I don't know, I could look for it more. But then also people credited Charles Addams, the person who made Addams Family, like the cartoons and stuff or whatever. Like, people credit him for saying it too, so it's kind of like, I mean, it could be both, because people did say that Morticia did say it in the plays, but yeah, I don't know, but like, I just wanted to say that before going into this, because it is a little like, I don't know, but yeah, this video isn't about who said it really. Um, this video is more about how normal doesn't really exist, you know? Like, I see people saying so much about, like, oh, this and that and whatever is normal or whatever, but, like, not everyone has the same thing, you know? You can't say something is normal when not everyone, like, I mean, like, everything is normal, but at the same time, everything's not normal because not everyone has the same exact thing going on. Not everyone has, not everyone's the same. So therefore, normal is everything but nothing at the same time. So, it's kind of just a weird thing there where it's just like, technically it's everything but also nothing at the same time because not everyone is the exact same. So technically there is no normal then. So I don't know, it's just like some weird thing there because, you could say that, having 5 fingers and 5 toes on each hand and foot is normal, but not everyone has 5 on each hand and 5 on each foot. Some people have less on 1 or 2 hands, and then some people have less on, or some people have more or less fingers on whatever. Like, there's people who have 2 fingers on one hand, there's people who have 6 fingers on one hand. Like, that's normal for them. So, like, yes, it's normal to have 5 fingers on one hand, but it's also normal to have 2 fingers on one hand, because there are people who have 2 fingers on one hand. Like, also, I mean, like, the majority of people do have 5 fingers on one hand, but it's still, like, because people who have more or less fingers on one hand, like, those people exist, so therefore that's still normal too. You know what I mean? Am I saying it correctly? Like, is the point getting across from this? I feel like I'm always saying shit wrong and no one ever understands the goddamn thing I say. I feel like I just don't say things correctly, or like the way I put things into sentences never gets across to people, and then people act like I'm fucking crazy. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter how many times I say it, how many different ways I say it, people still want to act like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So hopefully it's still getting across. I don't know though. But yeah, I keep seeing people saying this or that should be normal, or this or that's weird, and it's like, not everyone has this or that thing though. There are people who have it differently. Um, like, having 2 eyes is normal, but there are some people who don't have 2 eyes, or like, some people are missing an eye from whether they were born with only one eye, or they lost an eye somehow. Same with any other animal. Like, I've seen plenty of cats who are missing both or one eye, and that's normal. Even though usually cats have two eyes, there are still some with one or neither. So that's still normal for them. Or like when I've seen the cats who have it where I don't know what it's really called, but like I guess it's just like they're missing part of their arms, and then they basically got like these chicken wing looking arms. I don't want to sound like I'm mean or making fun of them for having arms that are missing or whatever. But, that's the best way I can describe it is that they basically look like they have chicken wings for arms. Again, don't take that as me making fun of them because it is kind of shitty that they don't have arms, but that is like they usually the videos I see of the cats where they don't have arms there, like they seem to be doing fine still. Like they're still running around just fine. They're still like hopping around and stuff. They seem perfectly happy. So, it's normal for them to not have arms, especially if they were born like that and then they just learn how to walk around with no front arms or legs or whatever you want to call them. And they just have these little extra things just attached to them, or there's nothing there at all. And it's just their shoulder. You can still see their shoulder there under the skin, but there's no extra like arm part. Because some cats I've seen have it where it's like the shoulder, but also it cuts off at like elbow-ish area, and so they just have it where it's like chicken wings. But then there's like other cats I've seen videos of where they have just the shoulder part and no extra arm part, and they still seem to be moving around just fine and being able to do stuff and play, and they seem pretty happy even with having no arms, and that's normal for them. Like usually, like again, like most cats have all four legs and arms and stuff, but the cats that don't have arms, that's normal for them. You know, it may not be normal for another cat, but it's normal for them. And then, with humans, if a person is missing an arm, uh, you know, I guess it's just normal for them too, whether they lost it later or at some point or they were born with missing an arm, like that's just normal for them. Like people and animals and stuff who like grow up with something missing or they lose something and then it just becomes normal for them. So, like, you know, yes, it's normal to have four limbs, a leg, two legs, and two arms, but it's also normal to have one arm or one leg missing. Like, you you shouldn't judge people for something that they can't control, especially when it's something like that. Like, people can't control if they lose their leg or whatever. I mean, some people do have it where they get something surgically removed because, like, there's some whatever where people have it where they feel like they shouldn't have a leg or something, but that's like a very small percentage of people, I think. So, the majority of people don't control if they lose an arm or a leg or an eyeball or something. Like, most people aren't feeling like they shouldn't have this or that, you know? But, like, it's still normal to have something missing. Like, also, a lot of people want to act like autistic people aren't normal when we literally are normal. Or like, every one of any gender sexuality is normal. People having different skin tones is normal. Like, you know, people being straight, gay, bi, lesbian, pan, ace, like it's all normal. People being male, female, non-binary, agender, like all normal. Like just because you aren't this or that doesn't mean it's weird. It means it's just that you aren't this or that. It's not that hard of a concept. Like, Gay people exist regardless if you are gay or not. Trans people exist regardless if you are trans or not. So therefore, it's normal. Autistic people exist whether or not you are autistic. So therefore, it's normal. And like people in the comments might be like, "What about cancer? We shouldn't have cancer," but it still exists. So like cancer is still a normal it still happens and it's like naturally occurring. Like people can still get sick of it or sick from whatever cancer cells, and it's just like you know it's just a normal occurring thing. And yeah, it's still shitty to have cancer though. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, you should keep cancer just because it's normal. Like you know we should still try to fix cancer and like get rid of it and stuff, but it's just like still a normal thing in today's time, and we still have to work to get rid of cancer. Like it's still a normal thing now. Um, Also, like people who have missing arms, like it's normal. But if they want to get a prosthetic, then that's normal too, because we have the technology to give people prosthetic limbs if they need it or want it. So, you know, both of those, like not having a prosthetic or having a prosthetic, like that's normal too. So, I don't know. But like, people are just gonna be like, what about this horrible illness? Like, yeah, it sucks, but it's still technically normal and still like happens to people, you know? Or like people being like, oh, what about people who are poor? Like, yeah, it sucks, but it's still normal in today's day. As I'm making this video, it's still technically normal, so you shouldn't hate people for being poor, you shouldn't hate people for having cancer. Like, yeah, it sucks, but it's still technically normal. You shouldn't judge people just because they have this shitty thing happening to them. Um, yeah, I don't wanna it's just whatever. But yeah, I just see too many people being like judging other people for this and that, and it's just like, bitch, just because it's not normal for you doesn't mean it's not normal for other people. I just you know, or like having certain color eyes or certain color hair. Like people with blonde hair, you know, it's normal for them to have blonde hair, but someone with brown hair, it's normal for them to have brown hair. You could always dye your hair, but you know, or like eye color, you can't really change eye color unless you get contacts, but that's like a temporary thing. So, at some point, you're gonna have to take out your contacts. Because, if you keep your contacts in your eyes too long, it can damage your eyes. But, like, if someone has green eyes, that's normal for them. But if someone has brown eyes, it's normal for them to have brown eyes. And there's nothing wrong with people who have different color eyes, so you shouldn't have a problem with people having different, like, genders or races or sexualities or, you know, any other sort of thing. Like, people can't choose their eye color, people can't choose their gender, people can't choose their race, people can't choose, sexuality. Um, Even with stuff that they can choose. Like, if they want to dye their hair, who gives a shit? Like, people can't change, like, I mean, like, to an certain extent, like, you can't change how you look. Um, Like you can do like cosmetic surgery and dyeing your hair and makeup and all this stuff. But like cosmetic surgery, sometimes if you try to do doing stuff with your face, like cosmetic surgery on your face, like if you do small things, I think it's usually works out fine. I don't really know the system. I can't say that word. For whatever reason, my mouth does not want to say that word. But, like, I don't know what the percentage is of, like, when things go wrong or however many of them go right, but I feel like smaller surgeries usually do or probably have a better percentage of working out. But I don't know. I don't do surgeries, so I don't know. Um, like if you're doing a lot of like cosmetic surgeries on your face, I feel like there's more of a chance of it getting fucked up and then you end up looking a little off and yeah, you're probably gonna end up looking worse than ever. So the cosmetic surgeries also like they cost a bunch, so it's kind of just like it's not always ideal for people to want to do surgeries because you can really fuck up how you look with those because they don't always work out. Again, I don't know the percentage of working out or not, but I wouldn't take the risk. So, making fun of people for how they look is fucking stupid because you can't really change it unless you drop a shit ton of money and possibly fuck up your face even more. Like, you know, looking like a normal person is not a bad thing. If someone thinks you're ugly, then they're a piece of shit, you know? But yeah, like, you can't really change certain things, but then even stuff you can change is like, why should you hate them for things that they can change? And then people like hating people for like being poor. It's just like, you can't really blame them for being poor. Like, there's only so much you can do to not be poor. Like, trying to get a job, if no one hires you, then you're kind of out of luck. Like, if no one's gonna hire you, you're just gonna end up homeless, and then you can't really do anything about that. Because being homeless makes it basically impossible to do anything, especially in some countries. Like, you know, the government makes it literally impossible for homeless people to get jobs. So, or like the people who are hiring people make it impossible for homeless people to get jobs. So, you can't really judge people for that because sometimes it's really out of their control. Also, a lot of homeless people in certain places were kicked out of the house as kids, or they were like in an abusive situation and they couldn't do anything else other than run away. So it's kind of just like, don't blame people for shitty situations if they didn't really have any control over that and you don't really know what exactly happened. So, you know, okay, anyways, but like this video kind of went into some slightly different direction there. But yeah, it's still like the point still kind of stands where it's just like not everyone has the same life, not everyone looks the same, not everyone does the same stuff, not everyone acts the same, not everyone talks the same. Everything is pretty much different. Like some people can have some similarities, but still a lot of people are very different. So technically there's no normal, but at the same time everything is normal, so I don't know. It's just so weird that people want to judge people for things that, like, especially if they're not hurting anyone. Like, if what they are doing or they just, exist, like, they're not hurting anyone. So, like, you shouldn't judge them or whatever. You shouldn't have a problem with someone just existing and doing whatever if it's not hurting anyone. If they are hurting people, then it's a problem, but, like, if they're not hurting anyone, why should it matter? Like, dyeing your hair doesn't hurt anyone. Being gay doesn't hurt anyone. Being autistic, I mean, that can't hurt anyone, but people being hateful to autistic people can't hurt people. Hate is what hurts people, not just someone existing. Also, hate towards gay people hurts people, not being gay itself. Or people hating trans people. Like, trans people existing doesn't hurt anyone, but people who hate trans people, it does hurt them. Or, like, people of color, black people, Native people, Mexican people, brown people, like Indian, uh, Japanese, Asian, like, you know, any person of color. Like, being a person of color does not hurt anyone, but being hateful towards people of color does hurt people. Or like existing as a woman doesn't hurt anyone, but being hateful towards women does hurt them. Like, you know, people just existing doesn't hurt anyone, but once you start hating them and attacking them for literally no reason, then it hurts people. So, yeah, again, this video kind of went in a different direction too. I should probably just like end this video before I go on some other rant that doesn't really matter. But also, I wanted to add another quote at the end of this video for more stuff. One person's craziness is another person's reality. So you might think something is crazy, but to another person, that's not so. The idea isn't so crazy, or that thing isn't as crazy as you'd think. So yeah, like a lot of homophobes and transphobes think being gay or trans is crazy, but it's not that crazy, actually. Or like some religious people think being an atheist is crazy, but it's not really that crazy, actually. So, I just wanted to add that here too, just for like, normal is an illusion. Not everyone's gonna have the same thing going on. So, yeah, anyways, I guess that'll be it for this video. I also wanted to start something where, I don't know, I guess, I don't know about every video, but some videos I'm going to have a word of the day or whatever, and the word of today is respect, because that's a very good theme for this video, or that's a very good word for this video. You should respect people. Like, if they're not hurting anyone, just respect them. If they're not doing anything wrong, then just respect them. So, yeah. Anyways, I guess that'll be it though for this video, so bye.